Welcome to Message Reveal. Message Reveal identifies a vibe, a message, or a story told through lyrics of a song. So before we get started, and before I welcome our special guest, I want to tell you a few things that's associated with our special guest. Our special guest is one, a author. Two, he's a barber. Three, he works for local government. And last but not least, he hosts a show. He's one half of a host of Street Connection. So if everybody can put their hands together and welcome Spoaty Mac.
Oh.
Thank you for saying yes and coming on.
Man, you know I had to do this, man. When I heard you was doing it, I'm like, man, put me on. What's up?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Before we get started, I always ask my guests, tell me what makes you tick. What makes your blood boil?
You're talking in a motivational way?
Anyway, whatever that comes to your heart.
Well, from a motivational standpoint, what makes me tick is just, I feel like as long as I'm working towards completing something, then I have a reason to live. So when I say that, I have books that I actually have books that's locked and loaded right now. Children's books is my forte. And as long as I have those books locked and loaded, I'm looking at establishing my own publishing company, and it just motivates me to do the next. And I use that same formula with everything that I do. So, when I put together children's events or when I'm working on different projects, I always have something in the queue, should I say, so that way I know that when I'm ready to move on, I got that next step that I can step into, and it just keeps me moving. So, to me, I just feel like, if I had to do something that motivates me to boils in so many words, it's just always having something, for the next stage.
Yes.
So.
Okay, so in other words, I would take that you always have to have some kind of creative energy to work towards a goal. So
Correct.
I think
Like I tell my wife all the time, when I stop working towards something, then you need to be worried.
Well, no, that's
Yeah.
good. I think that's a relevant way to look at things. So it's nothing wrong with that. So we're just gonna go back. We're gonna go back 1 inch. We're gonna rewind a little. And you
Okay.
mentioned I mentioned that you're an author and you touched on it just a little bit. So tell me a little bit about that journey with being an author.
Well, it's funny because when I was like in the third grade, I used to go to Walter V. Long. I'm a born and raised right here in Las Vegas for
You know
life.
what? Let me stop you
Rancho for
because
life.
yes, well, let me stop you and say this because anytime I have natives come on, we give them big up. So big up to a Las Vegas
Hey,
native.
you got that
Yay.
right. Yeah.
Yes.
There's so
Okay.
many of us that didn't make it this far, so it's always a blessing. But I'm gonna say this: being that I'm a native, I went to Walter V. Long. I was bused out of North Las Vegas to walk way out. I don't even know where Walter V. Long is today. That's the funny part. But I was bused out there, and I had a teacher at the time that she challenged the class. I was like in the third grade. She challenged the class to author and illustrate our own book. We made like our little small hardback book, and I wrote a book about an ant called Cooley the Ant. And when I drew him, it was like, I think it may have had maybe 8 pages. It was a little small book. But I drew him. He had like a brim on, and he was just like this cool
Oh,
ant.
he was cool back. You was cool back then. That's what you're trying
You
to
know
tell
what I
me.
mean? Because he represents me. But yeah, he was a cool ant. So I was like, okay. What I did is, from a third grade point of thinking, I wrote him as he was so cool to the point where when all of the other ants were preparing for the winter, he was too cool and in other words, too lazy to do it. And so he didn't do it. And he ended up freezing over in the winter. That was the way
Oh,
I wrote him. Yeah.
wow.
So when I got older, what we didn't mention is, I've been a prolific MC as well from doing the music. So, I got into doing the music in grade school, all the way up until adulthood. And once I started getting these grades, I started trying to figure out a way to again put something else in the queue that was still kind of music related, but it was doing something else. So from knowing me personally that my forte is working with kids. So my first thought was I always wanted to be a cartoonist when I was young, so I decided to bring Cooley the Ant back in my adulthood. But
Yes.
this time, he represents the hardest working ant.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
you ever get a hold of my first book, which is Cooley the Ant, a hip hop story, it's basically the story of my life, and it's just based on how hard this ant worked and put into whatever he was trying to do to make things happen. And so that's pretty much what I did. And once I brought him back, you know, the rest is history. And I want to shout out my boy Jeff Jones. He actually helped me put out my first couple books, and he got it. He got the monster started. So
Nice. That's
yeah,
what I'm talking about. Kudos
yeah.
to you. We got to give you a
Hey,
hand for that.
hey, thank you.
Yes. So before we dive into, or let's go back again about the books. How many books do you actually have out, and what's the titles of the books?
Okay, well, I have a total of four Cooley's books in the Cooley's book series. The first one is Cooley the Ant, a hip hop story. The second one is I did a Christmas and a Halloween book. So the second one is a Cooley the Ant and the Ghost of Haunted Hill.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. And then the third was Cooley the Ant and the Christmas Crisis.
Okay.
hmm And the last one, once I started working with local government, which you didn't detail, but I'm a probation supervisor. I started working at the juvenile detention. I started realizing that there were so many kids that were either being bullied or so many kids that were addicted to some type of drug in some way, shape, or form. So I was inspired my first year of working at the juvenile to write Cooley the Ant and the Poisonberry Bush, which is basically a story about it's metaphorically written about drug addiction and bullying. So
Wow.
and then last but not least, since my daughter is in the audience, uh, during the quarantine, my daughter, we were all planning on a family trip to Disney World in Florida before COVID-19 hit, and um, we of course ended up having to cancel our plans to go out there, and so of course the family was all in the dumps. My daughter specifically. And so she was super sad, and I'm like, I said, well, I know we're all a little sad about not being able to go, but why don't you write down the way you feel during the quarantine? I said, write that down. And then what I'll do is I'll illustrate it for you. Maybe we can, if nothing else, we can come up with something positive out of the quarantine. So we ended up writing a book for her called The Tween Under Quarantine.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So
Yay.
yeah, so she ended up dropping her own book. So she authored it and I illustrated it for her, and it's like our little team thing. And it was cool because she ended up getting a big interview from Fox 5, and it was
Wow.
an amazing experience for her. So
That's
yeah.
wonderful.
So
That's wonderful.
yeah, so five books total, but four of them which are all mine and one we share. So
I love that. I think
yeah,
that's
yeah.
wonderful. I love how you took something that was devastating and
hmm
you said, "Hey, let me give her a voice so she can produce something." And look how what a beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
opportunity to share a space with her dad, but also
hmm
give her perspective on the quarantine. So I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
wonderful.
I have to get you some copies.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
hmm Most
Another
definitely.
another thing that you just kind of hitting on, but I want you to touch on a little bit more about you illustrating. I know you did something, I think it was back in 2018 or 19 where you did the WNBA. You
hmm
did their pictures. So tell us a little
Okay.
bit what inspired you to do that.
Well, first of all, I'm so proud of you for doing your research.
Listen.
Because I'm like, where you headed with this? Uh, well, it was real cool because we are Las Vegas Aces fanatics in my household. We season ticket holders. We had every game if we can get there, and so I love it, and not to mention that they champions. They brought the first championship back to the
Yes.
city.
Yes.
Vegas for life, man. So it's been a great experience. So we got real deep into the team, and I just got inspired. One day we were I think that drawing happened. Let me see. I can't remember what caused the drawing, but anyway, what I started doing is drawing them because my daughter wanted to get autographs. So I was like, rather than having her sign stuff that they provide, why don't we make it a little bit more original and something that'll be a little bit more dear to us? So I
Yes.
created that, and I ended up presenting it one of the pictures to when they had their parade, and one of the players shared it on her Instagram. So it was cool, man.
Nice.
But sometimes I just try and write. I try and put down what inspires me, and
Yes.
I got that ready. The bad part about it is I put that together, and then they started firing some of the players. So
Oh,
now I gotta edit it and all of this all stuff.
well,
So
listen,
yeah,
you captured a moment in
yeah,
time,
yeah,
regardless if they're not there or at the end of the day, they were on the team at one point. So
yeah,
look at it as a catalog of
yeah,
what you've
yeah,
done, and you can still honor those people. So shout out
yeah,
to you for honoring our our women's league NBA. So
yeah,
yes, we
yeah.
have to give them credit for sure. So
Hmm.
I love that you include your family in what you're doing. I think family is very important. Um, tell us a little bit about your family. You just have one daughter, correct?
Yeah, I have one daughter, and I have another daughter named Lasia.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just kidding. I
You know,
always mess with, I always mess with my daughter, saying, I'm gonna just go get my other daughter, Lasia.
you
Her
know,
name is Asia. So,
you know.
it's a running home joke, but she gets irritated every time I mention it. But yeah, I only have one daughter, man, and I know a lot of people talk about how bad it is to spoil your kids, but I find myself at one point when we first had her, I'm like, I'm not gonna spoil her. But as I got older, I started finding myself saying, man, that's my only daughter. Get it. That's my only daughter. So
Yes,
that's kind of my deal. And then of course I got one wife.
yes, yes. A beautiful wife at that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She. Hey, come on, man. Look at me. What you expect, sister?
Oh,
You know what I
of
mean?
course, of course. But she is talented in her own right. So we
You got that right.
shout
Yeah,
out her name so we can honor
yeah.
her.
So Alonda is my wife, and we've been together for man, years. We've been married, going on 25, and yeah,
Wow.
yeah. She made me, man.
Yes.
I came up out the dirt, from Northtown, Las Vegas, and met this little girl from the east side, and she was like, well, hold up, man, we do things like this over in this household. So I started
Yes.
learning new stuff.
That's
So
wonderful.
yeah, I give her credit, and
Well, good.
yeah, we got my beautiful daughter. She helped me bring into this earth. So yeah, blessing after blessing, man, no
Well,
complaints.
that's wonderful.
Hmm.
And I love to hear that. So shout out to your beautiful
Right,
family.
thank you.
And as we transition, I always ask my guests to identify a song lyric that has either blessed them, provided some distraction, or just really resonated with them. Now, before you answer that question, it's rules to this, okay?
Let's get it.
Now, yes, if you can sing, you must sing your throw box out. If you can rap, you better come hard, rap those lyrics. But if you can't do either, then you have to say it bold. So, can you identify a song that resonates with you, either has provided blessings, either has provided distractions, or just resonate with you, period, across the board?
Ooh. So you you ain't tell me this. You sucker
You don't
MC.
need to know everything, partner.
Okay, let me see. Well, a song that got me through things. Does that help
Yes.
answer?
Yes.
Okay, so there is a song, a specific song that got me through a lot, and it's weird because even when I work out and go to the gym, a lot of people make fun of me because I listen to like old school music when I'm working out. I don't even listen to like hard, hip hop or anything that's gonna get my heart pumping. I listen to like stuff that I can get my head going with.
Yes.
Um, I remember at a time when I was joining my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi for life. Um, I while I was going through my process, which was a very hard process, I used to have to. I was working two jobs at the time, so I was working part time at the juvenile, and
Mm,
I was working part time at the Boys and Girls Club.
mm.
Okay, so when it was time to go and do to meet for my, while I was joining the fraternity, I would always have to show up late because, they would start meeting at about, I would say about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I didn't get off until 10. So I
Ooh.
was always about an hour or so late into meeting with everybody. So when I would get there, on my way there, I would play Dorothy Moore. She had that song Misty Blue.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
What? Give
And
us
I
some
don't know why.
lyrics.
Uh, This is crazy. Hold on, hold on. It's early. See, we got to do this when my voice awake.
Listen, we
Uh,
in it.
uh, hey, hold on. Misty Blue. I can't think of it, girl. I wasn't ready for this. But I used to change the lyrics to Misty Q because I was
Okay.
joining Omega Psi Phi. So I used, uh, man, I can't think of any of it right now. I can't even think of the melody. But anyway, it has nothing to do with well, I guess it has something to do with going through trying times, but um it's a weird song to be listening to when you're about to go and meet while you're being invited in or while you're joining a fraternity. So it was weird, but all the way until I got to the door where I had to knock and let them know I was here, I would listen to that song. So yeah, Dorothy Moore, man, Misty Blue. And
Okay.
the song is super deep song, man, and it touches my heart. It makes me think about everything in life, which is the reason why I listen to like old school music when I'm working out because when I'm working out, that's the time when I don't answer phone calls. I'm just zoned out.
And I
And
think
it
that's
allows me, yeah,
wonderful.
yeah, it allows me to, just zone out and, reflect on life and what I can do
Yes.
different. Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like that. See, you knew you had one. Thank you for sharing
And
that. I
yeah,
would
but I
I'm surprised. I'm getting to know a little bit more about you, but
yeah,
I like that. Go
yeah. Well, first of all, you surprised me because you know me out of all people. If I knew the lyrics, I'm gonna blow it for you.
ahead.
You know,
Yes. But
so it's all good. I'll be ready for the next one. Let's get it.
that's right. That's right. Okay, so the next one is name a song that changes the energy of the room and why. And it could be any song. It's all the songs that pertains to you from your perspective.
Well, I'm just gonna say this. I've never been a DJ, but I know that there's a lot of cheat codes for DJs. All right, so we already know that DJs can run. They can always run to the perfect line dance. So that oh my mama, oh my hood, I
I
look
look
fly,
fly.
I
I
look
look
good.
good.
Hey, I mean, a DJ could be playing the wrong song. You could be a country DJ, and nobody willing to hear it, and then you put on that song, and them people be out there stepping. So uh,
That's
that's
a
a
good
cheat
one.
code. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So that changes to me. That changes the mood in any room. People if it's just a dead dance floor, you put that song on, it's going down.
Yes, and
Um,
everybody dancing too. That
yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
And then of course, to go back to the old school is before I let go, man. Frankly Beverly, before I let go.
yes.
Those songs right there. If you a sorry DJ, so I'm giving you the cheat code right now. Just play them back to back, and you'll be all
Yes,
right. That's
you
all I can tell you. You know.
you did not
So,
call out and say if you're a sorry DJ. You
yeah,
got
because
some
you know some of
nerves.
them still trying to learn, and they're like, man, I just do not know how to get people on the floor. You know, that's the
Well,
cheat code.
look, from Sporty Mac / James Allen, he done gave you the cheat code for DJing.
You
So
got that right.
speaking of cheat code and DJing, let's just talk a little bit about Street Connection.
Okay.
How long you been on, and tell me about the program.
All right. Well, man, it's crazy. First of all, I'm gonna shout out my girl Carlea, the Queen of Flow.
Yes,
I know
well,
anybody that knows anybody knows Carlea, man. That's my girl.
yes.
And the reason I say that is because Carlea is the one that created me. Uh, one day I was there. I was actually there doing an interview with I think it was Rolls Royce, the group Rolls Royce, because we was doing tasting tunes with
I
North Las
remember
Vegas.
that back in
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah, yeah, and I was there, and I did the interview with Carlea and Rolls Royce, and Carlea was like, "Man, Spody, you pretty good." And I was like, "Man, I've been trying to tell him, 'cause I want to be on the radio. And she was like, "Well, if you want to learn, you can come up here, with me, and I'll show you the ropes." And I was
Wow.
like, I said, "Man, I'd love to do that." So she was like, "Reach out to the general manager, which is Craig Knight." She was like, "Reach out to him and see if he's okay with it, and we can go from there." So I hit him up, and Craig was like, he was like, "Yeah, man." He was like, "So what you want to do?" I said, "Man, I want to talk on the radio." He was like, "Well, yeah, you can go up there and train with Carlea." He was like, "But you can't talk." I was like, "What?" I said, "Well, okay, I appreciate any opportunity. Whatever you say, sir." So I go up there, man, and Carlea up there, and she's like, "Yeah, and she was like, "So, because that dude right there was a bad mother." And I was like, "Okay." And she was like, "So you ain't even catch it. You supposed to say shut your mouth." So I'm over there behind the mic, like, "Carlea, I can't talk. I'm not supposed to say nothing." She was like, "Oh, okay." So she kept talking or whatever. So then the next week, she was like, "So what you think about it?" And I got a microphone in front of me, but I'm just sitting up there giving her, notes and stuff like that, just kind of being a intern. And she was like, "So what you think, Spo?" And I was like, "Dude, stop talking to me, man. I can't talk." So then the third time she said something, and I was like stuttering, because I'm like, why this lady keep trying to make me talk? So then, I say maybe the fourth show, she was like, "So what you think, Spo?" I was like, "Man, so what I was thinking is you should do this," and I just got in.
Oh, you just said the hell with it and start
Yeah,
talking.
because she was making me look dumb, I felt like, because I'm like, she keeps shooting it to me and I'm not catching. So after that, I was like, "Well, man, Carly, I was thinking we should do this," and from that point on, I ain't stopped talking, man. I've been on the
Wow.
show. So then Carlea ended up moving on to like another radio station or some sort. I think she's with UNLV radio station now. And
Yes.
when she did that, the opportunity of me and my co-host, which is the big homie Omar. I don't
Yes.
call him the big homie. He's my regular homie, but
Oh,
you know
oh,
his
look at you.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
his fan base call him big homie. But he's also my frat brother. So when Craig hit me up and said, "Hey, I got this show idea, and it's gonna be with Omar," he was like, "Man, so you guys come up with a show name, and we're gonna put you guys on Saturdays from 6 to 8 p.m., which was like a great showtime." And he was like, "It's y'all show." So we ended up getting together, and we was like, "Man, we came up with conjured up a show name, The Street Connection," and it started off with DJ Certified, may rest in peace. And
Yes.
yeah, we came up with The Street Connection, and the reason we went with The Street Connection is because with us being Omega Psi Phi members, you know what I mean. We're all about uplifting the community, all about community service. So we knew that we were going to be doing stuff that's going to impact the streets. So we
Yes.
were like, street connection, and
Yeah. And
that's
and and as you're saying, what you said, I'm the plug and the connect. Is
that's
that
what
what
they
you
call
say?
me. and,
Yes.
and, and basically the street connection has been running. Man, it's hard to gear. We've tried to guess to make the amount of year, but I want to say maybe 12, 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been
Let's
winning,
give
man.
you a hand for that.
Yes, yes. Shout out to Power
Yay!
88 for making it happen too, man. I got love for KCP. Again,
Absolutely.
with me being a native, I've been listening to KCP since I was since I can remember, but I can remember vaguely in the second grade. I used to live in Casa Rosa
Okay.
apartment. Yeah, second grade, and I used to listen to Vegas J. He was the
Yes.
yeah, Vegas J was a radio personality from Vegas, and I had so much love for him. And may he rest in peace, because he ended up getting a major deal with a radio station in Los Angeles. And on his way, he was partying or something. This is the story I was told, because again, I was only in the second, third grade.
Uh-huh.
But he was partying, celebrating before he was moving to LA. And on his way to LA, he got into an auto accident and he ended up dying.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah, so
wow.
but I always pay homage to him, because he was the first, outside of myself, the first
Oh,
Vegas native that was from Power 88.
okay, well, right
Yeah,
on. Yeah, we
yeah,
definitely give Vegas J. Yes, we got to big up
yeah.
Vegas J. And
Mhm.
speaking of, because you know I'm a native as well, and I don't know if
Yeah.
you remember when 88.1 didn't only play R&B music, it played a mixture of everything.
Mm.
Years later, it transitioned into a R&B station, but I remember listening to like Michael Jackson and what's his name? Oh, Oh, I can't think of Paul McCartney when they had
Okay.
Ebony and
Yeah, yeah,
Ivory. So it
yeah,
was
yeah.
a mixture of everything, but it has definitely been a staple in this community.
Mhm.
Shout out to Craig Knight. He's
Yeah,
always kept it, going on there. And we have to
yeah.
have something that's a staple in our community. And I'm happy that 88.1 is still standing. I think this year is, or last year, it was 50 years old. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's a big deal. So, and to me, it's just a blessing and a pleasure to be a part of it, which is the reason why with me, when I'm doing my community events, I always make sure that I'm partnered up with the station. So again, it's that street connection. It's what the station is based around, and it's what we do. So you know what I mean? I'm
yes.
always excited to do it with the station, along with, my co-host, my frat brother. You know what I
Yes.
mean? We do our thing. So yeah.
Yes, yes. So you guys make sure you check them out. It's on Saturdays from 6 to 8 on the all new Power 88 FM 8 FM 88.1.
There
Right?
it is. Yeah.
Okay, right on.
KCP. Yeah.
Yes,
And you can get
Casey.
that app too if you're not in the city. You can listen to it on the app. And it's a whole bunch of good shows that'll educate you. We have a lot of talk shows. A lot of people used to criticize the fact that 88.1 had a lot of talk shows, but what a lot of people don't understand is it's a public radio station, and we want to give they want to give that platform for everybody to be able to get, whatever point they're trying to get across. So a lot of their talk shows are stuff that people really take to heart. Like my cousin
Absolutely.
Lawrence Weekly, he has a talk show that's on Saturdays, and it's uh, I can't think of the talk show. Forgive me, Weekly, but it's every Saturday at 10 p.m. 10 a.m. and man, his talk show. I mean, it talks about super deep information
Yeah.
that people that's going through something, you can soak it up. Oh, it's called Straight Talk, and
Yes.
yeah, his information is straight up. It's to the
Yeah.
point. And if you're going through something, I mean, this guy is so motivational and inspirational. He's going to always give you something that you can take with you. So shout out to my cousin. He's my cousin, and he's a powerful piece to Power 88 as well.
Yes.
So
Well, we have to say this about Power 88. It is the voice of the people, and you will always know what's going on, small, big, or super large.
yeah.
The PSAs will always keep you informed. We know when
Mhm.
artists come to town and they
Mhm.
want to promote anything, they're always going to come. Yeah, it's at the radio station, but they come to 88.1 to get the heart of the people. So,
This is the
uh,
realest radio station. I'm gonna tell you that. It's not the one that they're paying into. It's the one that they do what they do.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So definitely that. I have a question for you.
Okay.
As a child, What was your first opportunity to purchase a song on your own? Meaning nobody influenced you, nobody
Mhm.
told you to get it. You had your own money and you was like, that's what I'm going to purchase. Can you tell me?
That was Run DMC.
W-
Run
the-
DMC. The first album that I purchased from Run DMC was Tougher Than Leather.
Ooh, and
Tougher
give
Than
me a
Leather.
song that stands out or a song that stands out on that particular album.
Tougher Than Leather. Whose house? Run
Run
Town.
Town.
And once again, my friend that Ken Within gave the rappers. I kind of know it, but it's been a while. But that's what I'm saying. That's how you know it was a dope album because I still kind of know the cadences. I mean, back then,
Yes,
Joseph Simmons or Run. Man, he was just, oh my gosh, he's the one that got me into rapping, man. I'm like, dude, I want to do that, and that's what
yes.
when I started rapping. But yeah, yeah, Run DMC,
Wow.
man, and not to mention Kings of Rock, but they inspired me to get into the music, to be a writer and things of that sort. But as far as my first purchase would have been Tougher Than Leather, Run DMC.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right on, right
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
You start smiling hard. That brought back
Yeah.
memories, huh?
Man, them dudes are they still dope to me. Like I still, I work at the juvenile. So, sometimes the kids like, could you put on some music? And they be like, man, what is this? But I'll be like, listen to what I say, listen to what he's saying though. And they like, dude, that
Yes.
was pretty hard. Because the kids don't know how to focus on lyrics these days. So, once you get them to really pay attention and in juvenile, it's a captive audience. So, you can kind of force them to listen. Whereas to my
Yes.
daughter, I'm like listening, she's all in another room, but
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, yeah, they was dope back then. They still dope to me,
That's
Of course it
right.
sounds different, but it's still live.
Well, you know what? This year is 50 years of hip hop. So we
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
shout out to hip hop for
Yes,
50
yes,
years.
yes. Yeah, yeah.
And hip hop has taken so many people and pulled them in and
Mhm.
produced people like you, produced
Yeah.
Run DMC. So it's so many things that hip hop has done on a global level that
Mhm.
people are not even now, they're starting to really recognize and realize. But yeah, 50 years and
Yeah.
counting. That's what I say.
Mhm. Oh, it ain't going nowhere, man, because it's making too much money for the world.
Absolutely, but not even just money. It resonates with giving you perspective. It
Most definitely.
resonates with if you want to know what's going on in somebody's hood that's having problems,
Mhm.
all you got to do is listen to the lyrics of the song and you will be able to identify what's going on. So
I
it's
agree, but I say this: it makes a lot of money because the reason why we're going to continue being able to hear it is because it makes a lot of money for the people that's putting it out there.
that's
So
true.
yeah, if it didn't make money, I promise you, we wouldn't be able to understand what the hood, what's happening in the hood and the other cities and things of that sort, because they wouldn't
Yes.
allow us to hear it. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
And
So,
we won't just say the hood is global, it's worldwide. I was watching this documentary a couple of years ago, and it's a place in Asia where they mimic everything like you would think it was Snoop Dogg, Warren G, and all of them
mhm,
were out there. They had the clothes, they had the
mhm.
hair, they had
Oh
the
yeah.
lowriders, and they
Mhm.
couldn't speak English, but they could say word for word the lyric in English. So
Yeah,
it's amazing the influence that hip hop has brought across the world,
that's
period.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's
You got it.
amazing.
Yeah.
So give me a lyric to a song that you sung as a child and you had no idea what it was until you became adult. For example, I use this all the time. I had a guest on and they said Mary Jane. They would be like, Mary Jane. And we
Okay,
know
that's a
what
good
that
one.
we know that's about marijuana, but we
Mhm,
know the energy of that capture and you singing it and you have no idea. Can you
mhm.
identify a song that you can think of that actually happened and as an adult? You're like,
Uh,
oh,
I got two, and they
okay.
gonna mess you up because again, you know me from a different perspective. But this, I'm kind of irritated because I'm airing myself out. But
That's
um,
okay.
I don't let a lot of people know me like this, though, Lane. You know
Well,
what I
we're
mean?
family. We're family. So listen.
All right. So one, and it's gonna mess you up because you're gonna expect something else. But Donna Summers.
Which song by Donna Summers?
Bad girls talking about the bad girls. You know
Yes,
that song?
you're
Okay.
right. This did. I was not expecting that.
I know
Oh
it. I know it.
my
I
gosh.
got two. I got two though. I got two.
Okay,
But
okay.
that one right there, as I got older, I started paying attention because there's a certain segment in the song where it goes toot toot, yeah, beep beep. You know that toot toot.
Yes.
Okay, so you know what that represents?
Um, the men honking at the women to come
Dude, I
on.
did not know that that song was about prostitution, dude. I did not know that.
But you see how music takes us and capture
That is
the
so.
beat.
It
And
was so, man. I was so impressed. I'm talking this. It came. It resonated in my mind. One day I'm listening to it, and I was probably in the gym, and I'm like, they talking about prostitution. I was probably like, it was probably like 20 years ago. I mean, so you know what I'm saying? I was
wow,
well into my adulthood,
wow.
and I
And
just caught it. Yeah,
well, and that's what it is. You know, music will take us on a ride. We have no idea. And as
yeah,
I mentioned before in previous episodes, sometimes they do it intentionally to give you one perspective. And
yeah,
then when you actually sit down and think about it, you're like, wait a minute. And then
yeah.
it can be one of those things that even though you think it's what it is, it's still not what it is.
That's
So,
true. Yeah,
you know, and that's the cleverness of lyrics and
yeah.
music. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm gonna give you some homework too, because I didn't want to focus this on me, Spoaty Mac from the music standpoint, but I got a couple songs that I want you to go check out
okay.
that I wrote that were kind of weird like that. So I have one song called "We Have Work to Do."
Ooh.
Now I guess I'll tell you what the song is about. Each verse talks about um, the different black crime or crimes that were done on certain people. So or just tragic situations. I'd say that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the first verse, I think the first verse is about um, and this is gonna make you want to go listen to it too. So I don't know which verse. I don't know the verse order, but one verse is about Trayvon Martin, but
Mm.
the other verse is about the shooting at Sandy Hook,
Mm.
and then the other verse is about the the Batman shooting at the movie theater.
Okay.
All right,
Call it.
so no, not Columbine. It was the one where the dude hid behind the screen at the movie at the Batman feature, and then shot the
Okay.
people in the theater. Okay,
Okay.
so what I did is I wrote those songs, or I wrote those verses from the perspective of the killer.
Wow. Okay. I
So
definitely need to check this
so
out.
so when you listen to it, I'm describing what the killer did as he was on his way to go commit his crime.
Wow. What creative energy was you tapped in to do that? That's really unique.
Yeah, it was crazy because but what I was doing is what I was thinking about is, of course, watching the news, you're finding out, okay, like prime example, the guy that went to Sandy Hook, he was autistic, but he stole his brother's driver's license and drove traveled wherever he went to go commit this crime. And so he killed, I think he killed his mom or something before he left. So you know what I mean? So it was intriguing. Of course, the whole situation was intriguing to me. So I don't know what made me do it, but I just wanted to write about the situation, you know. Um, and I wanted to kind of climb into the minds of the people that were doing it. I don't know. It was just crazy. Even the guy, what's his name, Zimmerman, when
Yes.
as he was, dude, it's a super cool song, and and again, when I say intriguing, not intriguing like I was excited. It was just more like I was just I don't know. It just
Trying to find out their perspective and what
there, I'm just,
pushed them.
right, exactly, and it just the entire situation is intriguing. The fact that people can do that anyway, in a negative way.
Yes.
You know, I'm like, wow, I'm just amazed at the fact that it's people out there that still think about doing these type of crimes. But when you know, it was just again, I just felt like I wanted to be able to dig into their minds and thought processes. Because you know, first of all, the first thing that we as a society want to know is when these people do this stuff, they want to study their brains to find out you know. So it was me
Yes.
taking that approach, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
definitely
so
does
uh,
make sense.
yeah, and then with the what was the other one? The other one? The guy they said that the guy had created that did the killing at the movies, and this is all on the news. They said that he had booby trapped his house so when the police arrived that it was gonna basically explode and you know so
Mm.
you know what I mean it was just you know so to me it was just I don't know. It's just you know I like to watch a lot of that forensic science shows and stuff like that because you know I'm like wow it's just amazing how they can first of all catch these people, but as well as trying to understand their psyche. So you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that's basically what it was based around.
Wow.
But,
Well,
but
definitely send me that because I want to check that out
I'm
and
not
have a
gonna send it out. No,
conversation.
I'm not gonna send it. It's called. Get your pen and make
Oh,
notes.
okay. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
excuse me.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You
No,
the
I'm not
first
sending
one.
it.
You the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
one on the show. Usually they say, Halima, I'll send it to you. You like, no, get your paper. Okay.
It's called We Have Work to Do. We got work to do. That's what it's called.
Okay. Okay.
Now my other song that also had a crazy meaning that messed me up later is Brandy by the OJs. Do you know what
Oh,
that song is
yes,
about?
yes. It was about a dog versus
Yes.
a woman.
And it
And
sounds
I
like a
just
love
felt,
song. Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah,
And it sounds like if you listen to the lyrics of the song, it sounds like he's talking about his woman left him,
yeah,
but it
yeah,
was actually his
yeah,
dog
yeah,
relationship.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yes. Yes. You know,
yeah, yeah.
can you sing a little bit of that?
I can start the first part. Sitting by the open fireplace with my favorite dong. I don't know what he say right there.
Dungarees.
Like, what is it?
Dungarees. I think
There
that's what
you
it is.
go. Played a few said hold on. Heard of it? Hanging down the reeds. Man,
Let's go to the hook. I
I
really
really
miss
miss
you.
you, Brandy. I'm so all alone.
That's when
When
we
are
got
you
hooked.
coming back home? Yeah, that song is so dope.
Yes. And
Yeah.
think about it. He did it so beautifully.
Yeah.
You would think it was a romantic relationship and he messed up and he
He
said,
lost
listen.
his dog. That dude lost his dog. That is crazy. But yeah, yeah. So
That
yeah,
is
so that song is yeah, that always messed me up too. I'm like, man, this is a cold song. But that's my favorite. That's my favorite R&B group that ever existed. OJ.
really,
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
okay.
OJ,
Well,
yeah.
if that's your favorite, throw one more song out there that you like. That is the cut.
Stairway to Heaven.
Okay, okay. Yes, that's a good one.
Girl, I cannot think of the melodies at all right now. But yeah, that man, and I know all of these songs verbatim,
Yes.
except for the dungarees or whatever. I didn't know what he said there.
Well, I think that's what
Yeah,
it is. Don't quote me,
it
but
makes sense. Yeah, whatever
yeah,
that is.
yes,
Yeah.
I think they're underwear, but anyway, don't quote me. He said his favorite
Right, right,
dungarees.
right.
I could
Yeah.
be wrong. I could be wrong because it'll be
Well, I
somebody.
got it. Hold on. Played a few bars of a melody, and it sounded sweet to me. I thought I'd get up and take a look around, but my feet got in the way.
Yes.
Down to the floor, she was right at the door. I could see her face. But how could it be? Girl, I could get
Yes.
her. She ran away from me. All right, anyway, let's
Yes.
go.
You get a hand for singing it and coming
Yeah, hey,
back.
that's my jam, girl. Yeah.
That was a good one. Yes. Shout out to the OJs.
Yes, yes, yes.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yes, yes. That was a good one. So,
Mm-hmm.
as we talk about these things, we all go through our peaks and our valleys. That's what life is all about.
Hmm.
Is there a shelf staple song that you always tap in and listen to? And what I mean by shelf staple, it never expires. It's just that dope. No matter what the age is, what it is, you can always tap into that song and you're like, yes. Can you give me a song that you can always
I mean,
tap into?
I have a few. I mean, I'm gonna just say from the rap side,
Okay.
you got Ice Cube. Ice Cube was the, the best that did it in his hey. That he was also one that inspired me to get it, stay in the music. Run
Yes.
DMC started it. He kept it going. Um, and he, I mean, it's several of them, but I'll just go, 4 or 5 brothers in the mothership, better known as the do so we all want to smother. Being front and back glass got tint, trying to get our hands on some dollars and cents. But fools can't hold us. Every chance we get, we hitting up the boulders. Coming up short at the green guys. And I might start selling bean pies. Anyway, that's what is that? That's Steady
Yes.
Mobbing. That's Steady Mobbing. Uh
Yes.
Run DMC, I'm the king of rock. There is none higher. Sucker MC should call me sire. So that one.
Yes. And
Um,
that had a dope like rock and roll,
yeah,
like dun dun
yeah,
dun,
yeah.
yes.
They were the best to intertwine rock with hip hop for sure.
Yes.
And then of course the emotions.
What
You
wait a
got
minute.
the best of my love.
Whoa,
Oh,
whoa. Yes.
that's the
Yes.
coldest. That song right now, man. And what makes that song so big to me, and my daughter's giving me the okay, like that's the good shit. Because I made her. She embraces a lot of the songs because that's all I put it on. But my mom, that song represents that great time of my life when I was like a kid, and we used to be in my aunt's. May she rest in peace, and my mom rest in peace.
Bless
We
them.
used to be
Wait,
in
wait,
my
wait,
mom's.
wait. Before we do that, anytime someone passed, you need to say her name so we can honor your mother and your aunt full name.
Okay. Okay. So when we would be with my aunt who's in heaven right now, Charlotte Barnes.
Yes.
Um, she used to have all of the new trinkets. So she had a brand new station wagon with the wood on the
Oh,
side.
oh yes.
And I can remember us being piled all in that station wagon, and we would be riding through North Las Vegas and the West Side, listening to the emotions. And
Wow.
it would be with my mom, Verna Jean Allen, who's also in heaven, and we would
Yes.
just be having a great time in our lives. So that
Yes.
song always represents like happiness for me.
Oh, that's wonderful. And isn't it wonderful that that song can trigger that memory and bring out those emotions?
Hmm. And it's funny because the song is called the group
Yeah,
is called The Emotions, huh?
yes,
Yeah, it's
they
funny.
were so fabulous. I don't know if you know they did some background work for Earth, Wind, and Fire. They just
Yeah.
have a long history, and I don't think they get the credit that they should get.
That one album that has Best of My Love, that album you
Yes,
can play that from beginning to end. It is like it's an amazing album. I mean, they
yes,
are so dope. They used to make some cool songs, yeah. So,
yes.
but that song right there specifically was the one that always bring me back. It just always bring me back to like the 80s happiness. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So that's your shelf staple song that you tap in
Hmm.
whenever you need
Hmm.
it. I
Yeah.
like that. I absolutely
Hmm.
like that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So first of all, I just want to tell you, thank you for saying yes to me. Thank you for coming on to my podcast. I
Hmm.
truly appreciate you saying yes. But
Yeah.
before we get out of here, I always like to give the opportunity where you can talk about any upcoming events you may have or any social media platforms. Can you give my audience some information about that?
Yeah, most definitely. Well, first of all, I need you to say yes to my upcoming event.
Oh, me to say, you know what? That's an offline conversation. Don't put me on
I'm
Front
sorry.
Street.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So anyway, I have I'm actually with my character Cooley the Ant. Cooley's Books. You can check out my website to get all of my books, including my daughter's Tween Under Quarantine at www.cooleysbooks.com. And that's COOLEYSBOOKS, cooleysbooks.com. And you can, order all of my books that we talked about on the show. Also, you can tune into the radio station every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. on Power 88.1 KCEP. Download the app if you're not in town, and you can listen online as well. And also, you can tap into my music, Spoaty Mac. I just released, it's funny because even with the grades, I'm still doing it because I love the music. It's just fun. I'm not chasing a deal or anything like that. I just do it for fun. But I just put out my most recent project, which is called The Ninth Power, along with my boy Jay Almighty.
Mm.
Pretty good. It's a pretty dope album, man. It shows the growth. We're actually working on another one, collab album with that coming up too. We got about 6, 7 songs recorded into that, but you can just Google Spoaty Mac, SPOATYMAC, one word, and that'll pull up everything that you want to find. You can find me on iTunes and every other music platform, and you can look up that song. We got work to do, and I
Yes.
got several others. I have a song called If Ever Dad Ain't Here, which I wrote to my daughter, when she was a baby. So, just in case I didn't make it, until her adulthood or until whatever, that'll be kind of like her guidebook on to, becoming a woman, from my perspective.
I
So you can look
love
that up as well.
that.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
and it's a video out that you can check out on YouTube. And you can look me up on Instagram at Spoatyondeck, SPOATYONDECK, and find out, what I have going on, just with the street connection and with pretty much with everything that I'm doing. And also, I'm working on with my second annual Halloween trunk or treat event that's going to happen October 25th. On Bonanza and Pecos at the right in front of the Juvenile Detention Center. So
Oh,
it's for the East
nice.
Side community, but yeah, we do some amazing things out there for the kids. It's not for the kids in detention because they're in jail, but the ones
Yes.
that's in their surrounding community. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
So, and the kids from Child Haven and things of that sort. So that'll be our second annual, and last year was amazing. We had probably about 700 people out there for the first
Wow.
time. Yeah, first time ever in the history of the East Side to have an event like that. Um, and it was big. We actually shot out to have about maybe 50 to 100 people, but it ended up being
Wow.
700. So, and we're working on a second annual for that. So that'll be on the 25th of this year, October this year. And also, myself and my partner, Nukinda Beats, and my family, the Allen family, and everybody that I work with, we're putting together along with Cooley's Books, what I would consider the second annual. What I'm calling it this year is Toys to the World, which is going to
Mm.
be where I'm going to adopt maybe 10 to 15 families. I'm going to partner up with some elementary schools, principals, and assistant principals, and they're going to basically nominate the families that they feel that would really reap from the benefit of receiving a food basket and toys for their family for the holidays. So we're going to be doing that. That's going to be in conjunction with Power 88 and the Street Connection. So we're all doing that. And just something that I'm just doing, man. And shout out to Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. We had a forum or a conference at Canyon Springs along with Assemblywoman Dina Neal. And basically, just it was a forum with all of the law enforcement officers that are also in the Greek world, so it was Omega Psi Phi out there, it was Sigma, Phi Beta Sigma officers there, and several others. We all showed up, and we, along with a lot of attorneys here in the Las Vegas community, and we showed up and we invited the community out, and we put together different scenarios to prepare youth for dealing with law enforcement, so that they know that they're right and what their rights are, and they also know what they should do and should not do. So we did some
Yes.
scenario based activities and things of that sort. Things that I do every day inside juvenile detention with the kids, for the most part. Teaching them how to react when the police pull them over, teaching them what not to do, and keep your hands out your pocket, and
Yeah.
you know. Uh, comply to what they're telling you. You just might,
Yes.
because if you fail to comply, you might wake up dead.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
much what I tell them. So,
No, we
uh,
definitely want to have them teach them how to navigate through those particular situations. We want them
correct.
to be
So,
well informed.
so other than that, yeah, so you can tap in and see what I got to do and what I have going on, what I have in my queue, because it's always
Yes.
something going. And just so you guys know, from the children's book world, I have another Cooley's book that's being established. It's not titled yet, but I also have a book that I feel is going to be really impactful. It's a book that's metaphorically written about cancer, where it's this kid named Lightning. It's called Lightning Luke, and the event his adventures to defeat the can. I can't even think of the title, but something to that effect. But it's about a kid that he is diagnosed with leukemia,
Mm,
and he joins forces with some other kids that have other different types of cancers, and they become a superhero, and they're fighting against cancer. The
nice.
monsters, though, So uh, that book is in queue as well. I'm not going to release that book until I establish my publishing company, and so it's coming. But
So,
I feel like
okay.
that'll inspire several kids and people that are going through cancer situations, and in the world. So.
Yeah. So we can't just let you skate on by that. You said publishing company. What's
Mhm.
the impetus for that?
Well, it's coming. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes it takes time. I didn't mention earlier, but with my Cooley's book, the first one, that book sat in my studio, my music studio, for probably 15 years before I released it.
Wow.
And then once I released it, the Christmas book and the Halloween book came maybe within the same month that the first book released. So
Wow.
once I get inspired, it's like a
A
avalanche.
domino effect, huh?
Yeah, it's going to continue. So right now, I'm putting everything in place for my publishing company. I was um, contracted with a publishing company, but of course, I'm always inspired to do my own, and
Hmm.
I had a great run with that publishing company, but of course I like to have my own stuff. So once I
Yes.
have my own stuff, then it's gonna be a thousand books that's gonna drop under mine, So
Yes.
it's underway. It's
That's
underway. That's all I can say.
that's amazing. That
Yeah,
is amazing. I love that. And
yeah.
before I get out of here, I always say these one thing about the journey and the destination. The journey is where we learn and we grow. The destination is where we celebrate. But the
Mm.
key to it all is not to stay in the destination too long. We have to get back in the journey and we got to continue to live and to learn in that space. And thank you so much for again coming on. I always ask people to please don't follow me, but join me. My name is Halima. I look forward to seeing you guys every Monday at 7 p.m. on YouTube, where you can check out one of my podcast shows. And before we get out of here, one thing I do with women, I bow, and men, I salute. So I will salute you,
Hey,
Mr.
thank you.
James Allen, aka Spoaty
Yes, yes,
Mac.
yes, yes. Thank you for the opportunity, Halima. I
You're
appreciate you inviting me.
you're welcome. You're welcome. And is it any little thing you'd like to say before we get out of here?
There's a quote that I follow, and it's been reinvented on several stages, because I use it however I want to use it. So I don't know how it's really written, but this is what I use as a guideline for everything that I do. It
Okay.
says it says work hard for yourself, or somebody is going to hire you to work hard for them.
That's dope. I love that. Wow. Wow. I gotta salute you again for that, partner.
So crazy.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right,
And
man.
we'll get out of here. See you soon.